So Matteo Messina Denaro gets caught, and he allegedly they took $1 billion from him, not just once, but twice. You know, and we'll get to US in a little bit, but like that's real money, right? And was it drug money? Was it drug money rolled into construction? How did he amass such enormous wealth?
It's a good question. It's difficult to tell. I never analyzed the particular figures in relation to Messina Denaro.
Yeah.
You have to operate with a little bit of caution in this because the figures, the authorities have a certain vested interest in bigging up the figures.
Perfect.
Not all of that turns into cash, for the state.
Correct.
So I'm not quite sure, but it seems clearly, I mean, the reason why the Corleonesi fought the Second Mafia War in the early 1980s
Yeah.
was to take control of the Sicilian end of the heroin pipeline to the
Yeah.
United States. So
Yeah.
clearly narcotics are part of it, but that then, one of the things, again, that makes mafia organizations is they straddle the divide between the lawful economy and the underground economy, narcotics typically, and so on and so forth. So that money some would have been salted away. A lot would have been spent on his clientele, keeping his people happy, maintaining the organization, maintaining his prestige, sort of, frittered away, if you like, in that sense. But a lot of it, of course, then gets invested, laundered,
Yeah. Like anything else. So in terms of Cosa Nostra, so another thing that I found interesting is, and Italy better than anybody. Italians. I'm Italian American. We're very like high strung people. But I remember asking Salvo when the bombing went off in Capace, Totorino was watching TV and didn't flinch as if he was watching a Serie A game.
Mm.
What what type of person is this?
Well, it's clearly somebody who'd kind of begun at that stage. Iena had begun to believe his own publicity, I think.
Yeah, good point. Like the magician who believes his own tricks.
Yeah. I mean, he had he'd embarked on this war against the state. Crazy, Partly this was because in the 1970s, early 80s, this was in the air in Italy. This was the era of terrorist outrages from both left and right, when bombings, assassinations seemed like part of the political language, and the state seemed very weak. And Riina seemed to think that the vast income from heroin that he'd now got hold of by murdering the sort of Gambino Inzerillo and expelling the Gambino Inzerillo people in Sicily meant that he could dictate terms to politics. The Sicilian mafia has always had a kind of a partnership relationship with politics, right back to the start, right back to those revolutionary days I talked about in 1860. But it was kind of an equal partnership in some ways. There was the odd kidnapping here and there and that sort of thing, and but broadly speaking, mafiosi let the politicians get on with their job, knew that theirs was a specialist role and they needed to say what they needed to say, and they, do what they needed to do. And they were able to funnel votes, take advantage of contracts they were able to get hold of. There was a sort of symbiosis there. Riina seemed to think that his huge